What out, chaps? How's it going? I was going to make a lengthy video today, and I was going to take the time to explain the counter-argument to my last big video about the police, because I do think here in the States we do sort of tacitly endorse basically killing people. Like, it's not a coincidence that, you know, you watch all the cool old films like The Fugitive, for example, and there's a scene in it where they think he's shot a Chicago PD guy, and Tommy Lee Jones's character, the FBI bloke, is like, listen, we need to get to him before the police do, because they will kill him. And I don't think any impartial American would sit there and say that doesn't happen. Like, we know for a fact, if you shoot a copper, you get murdered. Anyway, so I'm going to avoid it. I will do something else later in the week. Rather than going on about that for too long, I thought I'd do something a bit more light-hearted, and it's a response to this. More than one person has written to me about this and said to me, this is fucking quality. I love your sort of comedic tone, and I wish I had your imagination. And I just wanted to fucking clear the air and get this out of there for fucking everyone to see. And this is why I normally only put the camera on a Sunday, but I want everyone to see my face and know this when I tell you. This is a fucking true story. Like, this actually happened to me. I might have exaggerated tiny parts of it just for comical effect. Like, for example, my bell end didn't turn the same colour as a frostbitten fingertip. But, in general, the story's a true one. And I wanted to tell you this face to face, because I'm sick of people accusing me of being some crazy fantasist. I wish I could make shit up like this, because if I could make shit up like this, I would have an endless plethora of comic tales to share with you. So the piece, I'll put a link in if you want to read it. It's basically, what was the strangest dating experience you ever had on a first date that was worth it? And as I said in the story, it was only worth it so I could tell people about it in the pubs and get a laugh, and also and maybe also educate young lads to be a bit wary of the terrifying yo-yo knickered fucking harpies that frequent pubs in the UK. I think it's because they drink so much. Like, British birds, Irish birds as well, fucking drink like sailors. So they used to have hen parties in York, where I used to live, and it was famous for them. Like, you'd go out on the piss on a fucking Saturday and you'd just get accosted by like groups of 15 birds who were all shit ass, mortal drunk, aggressive as fuck, like proper having a go at you, and they're worse than the blokes, really, because they know they can get away with it. Like, if men acted in the way they do, they would get nicked straight away, but the birds fucking get away with it somehow. So anyway, it was peak 2005. I think that was the year. Just a young lad out on the fucking piss. What we were doing, right? Royal Marines units there's 3 units. You typically have 2 units doing important shit and 1 unit doing like standby. You do training and you just, you know, it's an easy year. Obviously, because most of the time you're working like a fucking Baghdad bricklayer. So we go up there, and the whole plan was we were spending a week there. It was a jolly. Spend 4 or 5 hours a day training the kids. And there was like unarmed combat display and survival demo. And we were like teaching kids how to fucking kill a rabbit and set up a fucking bivvy and shit like that. And then just go on the piss all day. It was fucking quality. A jolly is what we call it in the car. It's like an official duty that you have to do, but blatantly just going to be a piss up, fucking enjoying yourself. So, goes to a fucking booze with the lads. We knocked off at about fucking 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Goes to a fucking bar. There's a fucking fit young lad, about 20, sat across from me. I think it was the first pub I got to, maybe the second. I'd only had about 3 pints. I wasn't minging. I wish I fucking was, because then I'd be able to wash it from my mind easier. And she sort of like, I think she had like a backpack with like a character on it or something, and she like waved it at me from across the bar, and my mate was like, oh, I think she fancies you, mate. So I went, oh, nice one. Strolls over, asked if she wanted a drink. Said, how you doing, do you want a drink? She went, yeah, get me a fucking wicked or whatever it was. So I went and got a pint, fucking took one over, said hello, literally got about 3 sentences out of her in fucking Oxbridge pleasantries. So it was like, what's your name? What you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm a bootneck, you know, we're down training the kids. And she goes, what do you want to do to me then? And I'm, you know, just drinking my pint. And I was like, what? She's, what do you want to do to me? Somewhat aggressively. I was like, do you want to go somewhere else? And she just fucking leaned forward and went, aggressively, do you want to put your fucking cock in my ass? My reaction was just that. So at that point I went, shit. It was almost, the mad thing is, like, to a young lad like that, it's almost a little bit like you don't want to, because it's like, I've only had a couple of beers. I've just got here. And you were a bit fucking weird. Like, now my alarm bells are ringing because I'm fucking 40. But back then it was like, okay. So I said, yeah, fucking right, we can go back to my hotel if you want. She was like, fucking, yeah. Grabbed my fucking wrist, like, with a Popeye-like fucking grip. Started pulling me out the fucking place, and I was like, ugh. Literally within 10 minutes of meeting her. So I'm getting fucking frog marched, fucking one arm up my back like fucking, like the Gestapo with tits is fucking in charge. Blonde Adolf's fucking frog marching me back. Straight in, up the fucking stairs, bursts in the door, slams it behind her, and I'm like, fucking hell. Pushes me in like... and sort of like muttering grotesque sexual threats all the time, like calling me a cunt and that. I was like, this is fucking weird. She proper marched over the fucking window and closed the curtains because it was probably only about fucking 8 o'clock at this point. And I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, you fucking pulling the curtains shut, flings a gear on the floor. And I was like, seriously, no small talk at all. She's like, yeah. Kit off straight away, flings me fucking back on the bed like a fucking power lifter. Surprisingly tough forearms for a young lass. Gear off, proper starts going to town. Like she really is attempting to suck a fucking golf ball through a fucking 40-foot hose. Going for it, yeah. Wanking me off so fast, she's trying to make my fucking pubes burst into flames. There's a bit of smouldering going off at this point. I was like, ugh. I think this was when the first sense of fear started to creep in. Obviously, a formative years wanking off all them fucking sailors had given her a very strong forearms, and it was just an emotional experience. Jams her stiffened fingers into my fucking chest like she's trying to do some sort of Jackie Chan bollocks, like, what the? And then flung herself into position and basically started trying to tenderise my gonads, like trying to bash my ballsack wafer thin, fucking Shagzilla. Didn't go on too long because I wasn't pissed. I was somewhat taken aback. Also because she'd fucked more commandos than shin splints. Yeah, and then after a couple of minutes I was like, shot me bald, happy fucking days. Rolls over and thought, yeah, it's only 8:30. Maybe go back to the boozer. Yeah, I'll have a few more beers. And she was like, that's not all you fucking got, surely. Huh? I think I made a quip again, like I said something like, do you want me to put the telly on? And she basically looked at me like she wanted to fucking rip my face off. Like I just said to her, can I fuck your mum as well while we're at it? Or your granny, wheel her in. Incandescent rage is the term I like to use. And then the fucking long night of pain began. And it was literally, it was fucking horrendous. Every single time I fucking thought we were done, I'd get 30 seconds to fucking desperately compose myself, and then she'd fucking be on there, lock her fucking vice-like maw around my fucking genitals and start going to town again. By the end of the night, she was literally just sucking out like sawdust and blood. Like there was nothing left to give. And I was like, Jesus fucking wept. Honestly, I did get some sleep at some point, but I remember like 3 o'clock in the morning or something, like fucking opening my eyes and seeing the fucking dark queen reattaching itself to my balls like a fucking limpet. It was the worst fucking thing you could... It sounds good if you've never been in that type of situation, or you're a, virginal 15-year-old, but it was the worst fucking night of my fucking life. Come the end, it really was. Like, it was about fucking 4:30, and I'm there with bloodshot eyes, sort of at it again, like... Horrendous. Cut a long story short, she fucked off at about 6:30, left me a fucking ruin. My eyes were bloodshot. My fucking thighs and my legs were killing me, and my fucking cock looked like a fucking dry branch that had been bent over someone's knee a few times. Like, it was hideous, and that was my trial of manhood. It took all of my mental resilience. Like, getting my green beret was about as difficult as fending the creature off me during that long night of agony. So that's a fucking true story. You can read the fucking lengthy written version if you please, but don't be accusing me of being some dangerous fantasist, because that's a fucking truth. That is a gen dit, as we say in the car. And yeah, just thought I'd tell that because hopefully it's more entertaining than another fucking 3 days political tennis, because I'm fucking sick of it, to be honest. I'll probably do something else Friday or Saturday. Yeah, there's that. Is that a light-hearted story? I don't know, maybe not. At least we're not talking about fucking Antifa. Oh yeah, and for the people that have asked, perfectly safe where I am in LA. I live in Pasadena, which is actually slightly out of Los Angeles. About 10 miles to downtown LA. And we haven't seen fuck all. There was a small protest in downtown Pasadena. It's a bit posh round here. And I am armed. So I long for the day. If they rock up round here, I will do my very best to show the elite resilience of the Royal Marines, and I'll even put the roof Koreans to shame. Well, elite resilience as long as we're not talking about womanising, but I'm British, I get a pass. If you want any good tales about that type of thing, of their elite resilience when it comes to shagging, well, you best go and see a French soldier. Not the Foreign Legion, because most of them are from fucking the UK as well. Hope everyone's doing well in your neck of the woods and you haven't been fucking burned out of your apartments by a rampaging mob. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Take it easy.